carry the flag for today. God, I'm feeling like Ducky. I feel like I need to loose off for a sec. Like I haven't heard or done this a dozen times. Like
we are on episode 18. Everybody should be used to doing this by now.
Guys, who are we and where are we? Can any of my fans help me with this intro? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I just show up to contribute. No, but in all seriousness,
we finally pull him out the
everybody,
basement, so he gets back
let's get this show on the road. Let's kick things off. I'd like to welcome you all to What the Fodcast for episode 18, season 2.
Start over. I'm so sorry.
Nope.
I didn't know you were doing the intro.
Too late, Ducky.
Thanks for cutting me off, Ducky. I'm going to remember that the next time I try to shut my mouth.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's staying in. It's staying in. Keep going.
Oh, I feel like a Okay.
Sorry, are we ready? Is intermission over? I shouldn't bully her so much. They only tune in to watch her anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
All of you again, welcome to What the Fodcast for episode 18, season 2. I am joined, as always, by my epic co-host over here, Captain Steve, and the wonderful, enigmatic, exceptional, hilarious, terrible timing Ladyducky.
That's actually really good. Very accurate.
Thank you very much for joining us again, yet again.
And to tack on, just a reminder here at the start of the video, if you like our content and everything like that, don't forget to sit there, hit like, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell. We'll remind you again at the end of this. So, all right. So, good point was raised up the other day, and we've all held a plethora of different jobs in our lives, and I feel like that's the tradition with any kind of, elder millennial, late Gen Xer, even just all the millennials and everything like that, is that you've had to wear many hats. You've had to have many jobs and everything like that. As everybody knows, I worked in the parks at one point in time in my life, but I think the one thing that we've all worked, that we all have a relation and something that we're all related to, is the fact that we all worked retail. Wow. And even then, we all worked different forms of retail. So I worked as a key holder, assistant store manager, and a store manager in auto parts stores. I know that Keith worked in many different retail jobs, especially at retail in the deli meat industry, which is it's a little bit of a mix of like food service and retail, but because you're behind the counter cutting meat, I mostly contribute that to retail. And then Ducky, you've held a bunch as well. So just one, yeah. Well, that's still but
privileged over here.
Yeah, I know. Holy shit.
Well, after high school, went to the military. Right after the military, I did 6 months at Ross Dress for Less. And then after that, I went to the university, started learning 3D modeling, and then I went right into 3D modeling jobs.
Smart fucking move. You limited the time you had to fuck with retail.
Yeah. Right. Some of us weren't that lucky, but then again, I worked in the parks. I never worked in the retail section of the parks. I only ever did attractions and entertainment, and I'm more than happy to share some of those horror stories. Trust me, if you guys want to hear them. But the big key thing is like working retail is the most underrated, most unappreciated job that you can have out there in the world. And I don't know what it is, but people feel entitled that the moment you step into a store, that apparently we're supposed to drop every single last thing that we're doing in our universe and sit there and immediately focus in on the problems that you're having in your universe. And that's not how this works, folks. That's not, like, I get it. I get that that's one of the things that people expect of retail workers. But the retail worker industry is not a hospitality industry. You're there to sit there and restock the shelves and keep consumerism on the move. So
many people do walk in with they behave as if they have this preconceived notion in their head that you're just automatons standing there waiting for them to walk through the door, and you're going to attach to them and take care of their every freaking need as they walk through the store, like as if 90% of your job is actually not organization, labor, scanning codes, updating additions and subtractions to inventory. Like, you're just standing there waiting for them on standby. They talk to you like you're fucking NPCs most of the time. And,
So,
I've noticed that's the standard default setting for a lot of customers that walk in and they see a retail employee just like, you, crap, what are you doing now?
yeah. So for those who are uninitiated, we should probably sit there and differentiate between the different types of employees that you'll find in the retail environment. Because there are some people out there who have never actually worked in the retail environment. So you have your standard bog mix of seasonal, part-time, and full-time employees. Now, these employees can hold positions such as stocking clerks, cashiers, there's even cleaning clerks, which I think is not fair. Of course, there are the infamous, cart getters. They're at various businesses and whatnot, and I truly feel bad for the people who have to sit there and go and get the shopping carts from the lots. Then of course you have your key holders. Your key holders, I love how people love to think that they're managers, but they're not. They're just a regular employee who's been trusted enough to be handed a set of keys, and that's it. They have no power in the store. They have no ability to do jack shit.
In my experience, at some of the places I worked, only middle management could actually be a key holder. You had to be at least a department manager to be, as they called you, awarded extra responsibility and trust. Like, you're not going to show up before everybody else, open this shit up for them, and clean up before they get there.
Yeah, in the auto parts store business, key holders they have no real power.
I see, because an auto parts store, I think what it has to do with is the volume of the size of the store and the amount of staff on the weekly schedule. You know, auto parts store has a lot less people to run it. You don't have 12 to 20 managers for an auto parts store.
Yeah.
Where something larger, full-service box retail store like, the big three, they have so much fucking middle management. It's absurd, at least the last time I worked at them.
So
every department had 2 managers on shift any given time of the fucking day.
Yeah. And that moves me on to my next point. You've got department managers, shift leads, shift supervisors. Then you have, of course, your assistant managers, and then your managers. And all of these levels have some chicanery and some bullshit associated with them. It's not it's not the world's most enjoyable thing out there to deal with a lot of the times. So I guess I'll get us kicked off. Here's a rage rant story. This is from back when I was a key holder. So again, I wasn't really a manager. I was a key holder. This was at a particularly well-known auto parts brand that features a checkered flag as part of their branding, and I'll leave it at that. And I had I could see the rage building in you. That's fine, Keith. But but as I was working at this particular store, I had a gentleman come in, and this was way back in the day, and he wanted one of those seatbelt cushions. Those stupid pieces of foam that you fold over a friggin' seatbelt. All right? And we only had one on our shelf. And I sat there and I was like, okay, I will be more than happy to check our other stores in the area. And I checked all of our other stores in the area, and basically anything within a 10-mile radius didn't have them. So I was like, I will do you a favor. I will call our competing brand that is literally across the street. I will call them for you, and I will find out if they have another one of these. And he's like, oh, thank you so much. All right. I call over there to them. I ask them, hey, do you guys have this? They go, yes. Now, meanwhile, while I am trying to talk with them on the phone, this guy keeps trying to interrupt my conversation with them on the phone. But, like, they're sitting there and they're telling me how many they have in stock. They've got 3 in stock, and I'm like, okay, can you set one aside for my customer, please? That would be great. He'll be over there in a second. I get off the phone with him, and this guy immediately starts berating me, sitting there going, "Why didn't you ask them to hold one aside for me?" I did ask them to hold one aside for you, sir. Well, you should have sat there and let me know when you told them that. Well, if you hadn't been trying to interrupt my conversation, you're really bad at your fucking job. Where's your manager? Well, he's not in right now. It's just me and this poor part-timer over here who is now shaking like a leaf because she has no clue what's going on over at my counter. He goes, "This is unacceptable, blah, blah, blah," and starts berating me, then throws the seatbelt cushion at me. I go, "Sir, you can get the hell out of my store now. Have a great day." And he goes, "Your corporate will be hearing about this." And I went, "I am probably sure they will be." And then when we show them the video footage of you throwing this at me, we'll have conversations then.
No.
Was he on drugs? Was he on drugs? What the hell is mentally wrong with you?
He was got hopped up on adrenaline and fucking anger sometimes.
Bruh.
They don't realize they can stop at any point and roll it back.
What the hell? Dude, you're getting what you want.
I've had some get belligerent to the point where they throw stuff or start to throw around some threats. And if you throw something at me, one of my coworkers or employees, you're this close from getting thrown through the fucking door. You can leave now? Yeah. I'm glad that worked for you because... I'm normally pretty good at dealing with the assholes that come into the store, but I'm also the same guy. If they push a little too far, me and the whole back of house is going to physically drag you out of the building. We're going to throw you just across the threshold of the property and say, now if you come back, it's going to escalate.
Yeah.
And did you ever contact corporate?
Oh yeah, no, he did. My store manager followed up with it and sent the lovely corporate office the video footage of him throwing the seatbelt cushion at me, and it was really hysterical because apparently I guess they sent there and sent that video footage like over to his attorney or something like that. Yeah. So, and I never found out what happened after that, but I mean, this is the sad reality though is like, you know. I guess I'm kind of sitting here setting the tone without meaning to set the tone of how this goes, but it's one of those things. A lot of people come in with an entitled attitude into this, and you really don't need to. Like, really, honestly, you don't.
More often than not, if you just calmly explain the problem and wait for someone to fix it, every now and then they have crappy company policies, and they're like, "Sorry, our customer service is just a word, not actually a defined department." So they basically tell you, "Sorry, we can't fix anything. Sorry, we can't help you."
Well, still, and the thing is like, if you were to really listen to our corporate policy and stuff like that at the time, like, what am I doing sitting there calling our major competition? Like, why would I send them over to our competition to buy shit? I could have very easily looked at the guy and been like, "No, I can't, I looked in our system, I can't find anything within convenience. I could order it online for you and have it shipped to your house." I could have gone that route, but on the instead, I decided to sit there and go above and beyond in my customer service and sit there and call our competitor and ask them to hold something aside for a client who basically I really had no obligation to do that for. So...
You must have some kind of mental
I mean, also, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there a way for him to ensure he gets what he wants? Couldn't he call or go online and order it to be picked up at a specific location to ensure that location has it on the day he'll arrive? Was that not an option?
That wasn't an option back then, no.
Okay, weren't quite up to that.
Yeah, no, we weren't quite up to that. We weren't quite up to that level yet. But we were getting there. That was the thing. Is if you would have waited about maybe 2 more years or so, online buying and store pickup would have eventually become an option.
So in my experience, even before you could pre-order exactly what you want online and then go pick it up, if you called an auto parts store, you could confirm exactly what inventory they had on their shelf in that store that day.
Most definitely.
And a lot of them would let you buy it over the phone.
Yeah, I would
say, "Look, as long as you come in today, we do have it." Or they'd take your information and be prepaid when you're ready to come pick it up.
Oh yeah, no, I was most definitely willing to take customers' payments and stuff like that over the phone.
It sounds to me like it was his fault, knowing it was limited, and then coming up there and expecting you to have it without actually going ahead and locking it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing is like I can tell you the two major auto parts chains. There is no difference in the POS system, the point of sale system. There is no difference. I worked at both of them, and I can tell you the POS terminals are the exact same. Because when I did get over to the other, when I did get over to the other side, to our competitor, when I did cross over to them, I already had working knowledge of the POS system. I did not expect it to actually be the exact same, exact identical system, but it was. Yeah. So, like, I slid right into that, like, super easy because it was the exact same thing, and I had already been working with it.
Okay.
So, all right, who's next? I got a million of these.
You know, I don't have too many because I only worked at Ross for like 6 months. But the one time that I actually had an issue with someone, and I didn't even know it was an issue. I was working where I was marking up stuff. We had to go to like clothes, scan it, just going to each piles of clothes throughout the store. And this lady came up to me and she's like, "Do you know where the plus size aisle of clothes is?" Or clothes, you know? And I was like, yeah, that's no problem. And what I was saying, I thought was not rude, but she took it as rude. I said, okay, so, because, you know, I was busy marking up stuff, but I showed her, I said, so if you look up here, like on the ceiling and stuff, because it has all the names, like plus size here, women's here, men here, you know, all the locations. And I was like, so right there, right under that sign will be the plus size area, so you can find all the clothes you want and all that stuff. And she left, and then she complained to my manager, saying I was being smart and rude. I guess I was being...
Oh my god, I directed you to the aisle where the product you're looking for is?
Yeah, holy shit, I was friendly. What the fuck?
But apparently I was showing something so logical. To me, I didn't even know about that. I wasn't looking up before, and I thought that, I was like, oh wow, that's like when I'm like setting up stuff in the store.
I guess it wasn't that logical or obvious if she didn't fucking notice it, but she was offended that you helped her because she was...
I offended her by showing her, hey, you can look right up here and I'll show you exactly where you need to go. And I think that pissed her off because it was maybe coming off like I was being a smart ass or and I
wouldn't have taken it that way.
No, like my coworkers, like my managers and stuff, and said, no, you're fine. Like, we know you weren't trying to be a jerk and stuff like that. Like, they knew me. I wasn't like that. So I didn't get in trouble, but...
Well, this also isn't like you're working in a Walmart and everything like that, where like when you look up at the signs at the ends of the aisles, they're not always accurate or up to date because the aisles are changing every day. Now, Ross is kind of like a Marshalls and whatnot, where they're like selling like last season's merchandise and stuff, or
it's basically nothing is really organized. There's just an area. It's like it's because it's called Find Your Treasure. You literally have to search and find something that you like. So nothing's really like looking for these exact type of light bulbs. Like if you're in Walmart, yes, you need to walk a customer somewhere because there's, you know, it's hard to find a specific item you're looking for. But at Ross, there's not really anything specific. It's just an area.
It's not like they have dozens and dozens of the same product. They get one or two of this here and there. They get stuff that the store
it's a bunch of random stuff
take for one reason or the other.
It's from like all the
factory outlet overflow style.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Okay, yeah, because and it's amazing if somebody would walk you somewhere in a Walmart because I've never had that happen to me.
Well, I mean, if you're like, hey, I'm looking for this brand of these light bulbs, and I don't see them in the light bulb area, and then they'll walk over and they'll kind of look, and sometimes they'll be on the other side of the aisle. And they're like, oh, it's actually here. And
I have never gotten that out of Walmart.
No, Publix or a Home Depot, they'll take you to exactly where. But I think that's just because they know.
Yeah,
there's a lot of crap in those aisles, and if you don't look in just the right 5-foot section, you're gonna go right by it, and if
And
you're
they have,
already
like, a
I
thing.
really have no clue where it is, they're like,
They
yeah,
have
you're
like a
fucking
thing
get
on
lost.
their phone, and it's like, oh, I need this. They'll type it like in their phone, and it'll tell the employee where it is exactly, and they'll walk you to the location that's on their phone. So if they don't know.
The Walmart up the street from me is actually soft testing something right now where they have this little bot that's roaming the aisles that you can walk up to and ask it where something is, and then you can follow the little robot thing. They got the Walmart up the street from me has that.
Walmart
I don't know if that's
trying to phase out hiring humans, aren't they?
It truly feels like it. It definitely does.
Dude, they got 20 registers at every Walmart, but the only thing that's ever open is the 4 self-checkouts. They fucking hate employing people. They're so over it.
From my time in the auto parts stores, though, oftentimes when you're like slammed and everything like that, we had so many customers though who would try to come behind the counter to go walk the brake pad aisles and stuff like that for themselves. And like there was times or two where I had to turn around and be like, excuse me, can I help you? And they're like, yeah, I'm just looking for this particular brake shoe number. And I'm like, yeah, get the fuck out of my aisles, man. Like,
at what other store at any point in your fucking life do you see the counter the register is sitting on and think you're allowed to fucking go back there? What the fuck?
Yeah, but it happens a lot, especially the commercial customers. The commercial customers think they can just peruse in and grab what they want and grab their own cartfuls of stuff, and it's like, no.
It's not like this is a supplier warehouse and you have a special, I can shop here fucking card,
Yeah,
like,
no.
If I see a cash register, like, I know that's like a stopping point. You don't go beyond that because it would make the, employee uncomfortable because you're right by the cash register. They don't know what you're doing. So it's, be in front of it, not behind it. Wait, or be behind it, not in front. You know what I mean? Don't where the money comes out.
In my experience, if anyone's trying to cross that threshold, they're probably trying to do something unsavory.
Right.
That right there is just sticking a red flag on your own head. Like, oh yeah, I'm either the dumbest person on earth or I'm someone that's here to assault you or rob you, because who the fuck else tries to barge behind the fucking counter like they belong there?
Yeah, I mean, you can't just waltz into these situations and like be like, oh, I'm gonna just take over your store. When I was at the
if they tried that at a gas station, they'd get tackled, clocked with a bat, or depending on the fucking area, catch lead.
My one biggest point of pain and annoyance is when I was working at the Titanic Museum is that first thing in the morning we would make sure like all the I was a floor manager there, so retail wasn't my primary responsibility, but I did hover over in retail quite a bit to help them out. And one of the biggest things that we'd do is first thing in the morning, we'd all get there like an hour earlier and stuff like that before opening and make sure like it was all tidied up and whatnot. And people would come out of the exhibit and everything like that, and they'd start going through the all the stuff in the store. And one of my biggest points of annoyance is that all the neatly folded shirts and everything like that, and there was a sign that said, please ask for assistance. But they'd just reach in, grab a shirt, do that number with it, and like hold it up to themselves and whatnot. And it's like, what part of the sign that says please ask for assistance did you not understand, besides the fact that there are 3 shirts hanging up right next to all those shirts that are literally one of the small, medium, and large that you can hold up to yourself. You just had to take the very neatly folded one right off the fucking shelf and go and hold it up to yourself and be like, yeah, that looks like a large. I wonder if that's a large. Yep, tag says it's a large. Like,
what the tag's for, bub?
So
that's different if they're trying to take it to the dressing room to double check that it actually fits right on them. Because the size isn't always like the final stop to know if it fits right. But like, yeah, I mean, if you're going to do that, you better really be planning on freaking buying it. Go try it on at least, versus, is it really large?
I actually do remember a story. I almost, maybe this is my fault because I I was told, so at Ross, they have to have somebody who stands in front of the fitting rooms. And when you bring up your clothes, you have to have a certain number. And we'd have to physically count it. If you have like a 5 pairs or 4 pairs of clothes, we'd give you a number, like a 4 or 5. And you could go into the fitting room, try on your clothes, come out. You'd have to hang up your clothes again. We'd have to count, see if we see all the clothes there, and then they could leave. Because they've had a lot of thievery and all that stuff going on. And a woman came up to me, and I felt this is definitely my fault. I feel like, but I felt like I was supposed to tell her no. She wanted to use the fitting rooms to breastfeed her baby. And I was like sitting in my mind going, oh no, that's against the rules. She can't be back here without clothes. And I was like,
just direct her to the restroom.
I did. I said, do you want to do that in the restroom? And then she yelled at me, you know how disgusting that is. You know, I'm not going to be doing that. And I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense.
Well, so we're going to end this conversation right here. You came here in a fucking car, didn't you? That's your only other option.
I didn't think about that.
Have a nice day.
I didn't think about that. I actually didn't think about the car.
If another fucking word was said after that, she would have been removed from the fucking store.
Don't Ross's, don't they have like maternal rooms or something?
I don't think so. I know they have a restroom and the fitting room, but all I know is like in my mind was like fitting room is only for clothes only, and I'm like, you have to be super watchful back there. So that's why I was like bathroom, and then she's like, oh, you know, I had to get a manager and stuff. So I'm not sure what the manager did with that situation. I don't really remember, but yeah, that was another time I got yelled at. So,
well, most of the time by state or federal regulations, all these large stores are made to have a changing area, a baby area,
right,
in restrooms.
It's just Ross is really. I mean, maybe they allow
only area in public where you take your pants down or you change your baby. Seems the logical place to go feed it if you can't fucking go to your car.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense.
Yeah. Why? I want special privileges and more rights than everyone else.
Then again, she could probably like cover the. I don't know.
If you're in your own car and you're not, look, the main issue is what. Nothing against mothers, nothing against breastfeeding, nothing against taking care of your baby. But everyone has to abide by indecent exposure laws. And there are no exceptions for fucking anyone, ever, anywhere, in any location other than their private property. Now, she could potentially get herself in hot water feeding the baby in the car. However, that's not a given. You don't have to just take everything off, strip down, and sit there to do it. Most people do it with a pull away, some buttons, etc. You know, like, there are ways to do that in public without, you know, exposing yourself or getting in trouble for exposing yourself too much in anyone else's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So, according to Ross, their breastfeeding policy only extends to employees, not to customer nursing mothers. But like basically their employee policy benefits is they offer a private room that's not a bathroom, that is clean, reasonably accessible, and has a power source for employees to express breast milk and pump. So, but like that does not extend to the customers. So my guess is your manager probably let her go back and use the accommodation that's there for the employees.
Yeah.
And that may be to save face, but they don't have a policy.
Meanwhile, they are not entitled to do that. They're not obliged. Right. It's simply a courtesy being extended if they offer it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like kind of feeling bad because like, oh, maybe I did do something wrong. I just was trying to follow the rules I was told. So
no. I mean, at the end of the day, you're fine, and then and you can't reasonably expect somebody who's new to retail, who's new to a retail environment, who's new to any of that stuff to know anything like that. It's like the people coming into the theme parks to work for the first time. They're not ever going to know like all the intricacies and the ins and outs of all the things that you can do and the benefits that, you know, of the tools that you have to help client, you know, to help the guests and whatnot. That's that's.
And another thing, Universal has a lot more resources, a lot more square footage, a lot more structures to think of extra accommodations. Something I was thinking about when you said they have a room specifically for that, for their employees. I feel like that's them already doing more than they should have to. They should not be forcibly obligated by any rule set to make a room exclusively for breast pumping. Like how many extra rooms, doors, and partitions are... So now you're telling me every business in the country should have a room explicitly for that one task, which, let's be real, what fucking percentage of the people in your store are actually... You're catering to what? Fucking, like a 1 to 5% fucking bracket? Where you now have to fucking build an additional structure? You have to add more infrastructure to your business? Because something that they could do in 100 places, they fucking got to do, and now they want to do it in your fucking privately owned fucking location. So you were supposed to fucking predetermine this? You were supposed to, talk to a psychic and be like, do you know how many people are going to be pissed off when they can't breastfeed in your store? You must build a... Like,
well, you know...
What if I want a fucking nose-picking room? What if I want a cigarette smoking room? What if I think all men that hate shopping should have a lounge in every retail store where they can sit and smoke fucking cigars and watch television while their girlfriends shop? Because I think that there's a lot more fucking men that don't want to be drugged into the fucking store in this country than there is women that need 5 minutes in a private room to fucking breast pump. I think that's a higher fucking demographic of people that would like a private little fucking room to fuck off in. Why aren't we forcing them to build those rooms? Do you see what I'm saying? These are fucking unrealistic standards to expect businesses to provide for you.
Have you noticed lately, by the way, that shopping malls don't have benches anymore?
No, I haven't been in a mall.
Yeah,
I
was in the mall the other day, and I noticed that they have very few benches. If I were to be sitting there and having to take, like, you know, if my daughter were younger and whatnot, if I was having to take her shopping and whatnot, I'd be miserable because I want a spot to sit where I could just be like, go find the store that you want to go into, then give me a holler when you're ready for me to pay. I'm going to sit here and just chill. Like, yeah. I don't want to, like, be going into every store and be, like, wandering around the aisle and being like, okay, well, she's picking out a million different fucking clothes right now. And
yeah, back when I still used to occasionally go to a mall, I can recall every 2 storefronts there was a set of benches. Like,
yeah,
they were...
It's not like that anymore.
And the irony is, 50% of them were in use all day. Just rotating people like us that are like, you want to go to 15 stores. I only gave a fuck about getting one thing here. We're going to be here for 3 hours. A lot of people using those benches.
Malls used to be so freaking cool. But now they're just dead.
Oh, back in the 90s, they were colorful. They were engaging. Now they're all just plain white boxes.
They just used to be very filled. Now they're dying, dude. Online shopping, dude. That's the way now.
So, all right. Well, we've shared a couple of stories. Your turn, sir.
It's your turn, Creaky.
What are you talking to?
You worked retail. Come on, let's go.
Let's hear the one that makes you so
Is
mad.
It fucked up that I don't want to share my retail stories. No. I want to forget them. I want to press them down and repress them. Bury them under coffee, liquor, and therapy I'll never seek.
PTSD from the
bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I think we all have that.
All right, I'll start with the one I was kind of giving you the bullet points on earlier when we were talking, because that one is just fun for everyone. It's so fucking dumb. Anyone can appreciate the face palm situation it was. So, years ago, I worked at a little deli butcher shop deal. And we had many interesting folks. I could probably come up with at least 6 terrible stories from that place, but this one I think falls in a nice little happy middle ground. So, we're working behind the counter, cutting stuff, filling the case. Some guy's been there forever, some guys are new. We got one of the new guys greeting someone as they walk in the door. This person didn't come in there to browse, they came in there for something very specific. First person they approach is the new guy. He handles everything professionally, properly. He's very friendly, helpful, genial, yada, yada, yada. Then she starts asking an impossible question. And this poor guy tries his best to explain for his limited amount of knowledge. And he's like, but maybe there's something I don't know. You know, I'm new at this.
Yeah.
I overhear the conversation. And I'm just trying to avoid it at this point. I'm like, I'm going to put my head down and cut chicken.
Yeah.
I don't want any piece of this. And I hear her tone of voice changing, and I could hear the panic in our young employee's voice. It's like, fuck. I look around and I see 6 other people actively ignoring this, partially snickering, partially go, fuck, no, I'm glad that's not me. Because there's no making this one happy. They all knew it. There's no fixing this.
Yeah.
Because they could already hear her request is turning into an insistent demand. Well,
Oh, God.
So lo and behold, I hear this young man explaining to the lady, ma'am, I don't think that's a thing. I know we don't have that, but I don't think it's a thing. And very defensively, she insisted it was indeed a thing, and she knew what she was talking about. And so I'm listening in, and I ascertain this woman is not going to be happy or leave any place without a meltdown unless she can acquire some grass-fed chicken.
Chickens don't eat fucking grass.
Right. Now, to most people on the surface, they go right over their head. They're like, grass-fed animal, good, right? Chickens don't eat grass. No chicken alive on this earth has ever gone, oh yeah, I'll eat grass. You put a chicken in a place without feed, without bugs, without seeds, without something, even freaking meat or vegetable scraps. They're pretty omnivorous. But chickens do not eat fucking grass. Never have. Never will. If that's all you gave them, we wouldn't have no chickens. They'd all drop dead from starvation. So before I escalate to explaining it in that manner, I come over and I try to bail the guy out, and I start talking to the lady, listening at first as if I haven't already heard this ludicrous request, and pick up kind of where he left off with a little more details. And I go to explain, perhaps you're thinking of hormone-free chicken, or free-range, cage-free chicken.
Yeah.
Or perhaps a certain diet like grain, not feed. Because there's processed feed, then there's more whole grain diets, which...
Yeah.
Nope. Angrier and angrier every time I explained what we have and what really exists. No, I said grass-fed. I meant grass-fed. I want... Eventually, I just laid it on her fully honest and told her basically how I told you after offering her the other options, saying, look, this is what's available. We do have everything that you could potentially order to have shipped to this location. I mean, you're not going to find anything at any other deli in this state that we don't carry. You're welcome to try or go online. And I finally got fed up and told her, I said, chickens don't eat fucking grass. Never have eat grass. If you tried to feed chickens grass, all your fucking chickens would die. So if you want a grass-fed chicken, go home, adopt some chickens, raise them, and try to feed them grass and see how that goes for you. And if there's anything else I can help you with, you let me know. But until then, I'm going to be over there. Fucking, oh, she blew up. I want to talk to a manager, da-da-da. Meanwhile, too, my managers were listening to me fucking laughing, going, I'm glad he's dealing with it. He can normally talk to these kind of people and get them something and make them happy, even if it's not what they thought they wanted. Like, nope, they were, fuck. Well, one of my managers came over, and without a beat, he had my fucking back 110%. Went, ma'am, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Everything he said was 100% correct. Not only did he tell you everything we could offer you, everything we could do for you, what we have, what we could order, he truly explained to you the reality of the situation, and there's no such thing as a grass-fed fucking chicken. So if you want one, you're going to have to go to another planet to find it. And this is my fucking manager. And she and me, huff, puff, well, I never, blah, 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 stormed out of the fucking store. And as soon as she did, I got a standing ovation and a bunch of people cracking up laughing, and my manager and the owner came up to me. Manager put his hand on my shoulder, he's like, dude, no one could have handled that better than you. Everyone here would have blown up on her and told her off way before you did. So you exercised a fantastic amount of patience. You tried to educate her, and you had a really good sense of humor about how stupid the situation was. Because at the moment I stepped away with my closing statement, I was like, I am certainly getting fired or at least reprimanded. Nope.
Yeah.
Apparently as a fucking hero.
Promotion.
So... But you do have those level of confidence from customers who just they don't know. So this was back when I was working at Universal very, very, very early on. So we're talking mid 2000s, and I had a guest come up to me who was swearing up and down that they had ridden Tower of Terror at Universal. Tower of Terror isn't at Universal. And the really funny part about this is that I had just come off from working at Disney that same day where I had been working Tower of Terror. So here I am at Universal working my attraction over there coming from a different attraction back over at Disney. And they're sitting there swearing up and down that, no, I'm wrong, and that here at Islands of Adventure is Tower of Terror, and where is it? And I go, I think you're meaning Dr. Doom's Fearfall, not, Tower of Terror. Dr. Doom's is over in, then they're like, no, talking about, no, you're fucking wrong. Like, I literally just came from working there. That's over at Disney MGM Studios at fucking Disney. You're at the wrong...
Do you think that we actually moved a whole fucking building just to gaslight you?
I had many, 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 many years later, I had a guest swear to me up and down that you could take the Hogwarts Express train there at Universal, that you could take that train over to the Magic Kingdom there at Disney. And they're like, when does the stop over at Disney happen for the Hogwarts Express? I go, it doesn't. It only goes from here over to Hogsmeade. That's it. It goes from Diagon Alley to Hogsmeade. That's it. And they're
isn't the only thing other than your legs or a vehicle? They have like shuttle buses. They don't even have a tram that you'd have to get a shuttle bus to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like, you can't, there is no direct service from Disney to Universal. You'd either have to drive yourself, hire an Uber, or fucking hoof it down iDrive.
You'd have to take an Uber over closer to Disney property to even get a shuttle that goes to Disney property. Yeah, so there's not even shuttles that run between the two parks.
No.
God damn.
No. So...
What was he confusing that with?
I mean, the thing is that, we'd also get it over at Disney. I remember sitting there and I just got done doing the parade route. And as I'm standing there at the gate, closing the gates behind the parade and securing them and whatnot, I had a guest come running up to me and go, that was a fantastic parade. You guys did a wonderful job. And of course I'm a manager, so I'm sitting there going, oh, thank you for liking our parade and whatnot. If you want to, you can stop in over down at City Hall and let them know what you think of it and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, that's great. Hey, where in the park is the Harry Potter ride?
Get out.
It's like, you are in the wrong place. Or I had a guest get into a physical altercation with me. He literally pushed me to the ground and was yelling and screaming at me because he was right, I was wrong, that Disney and Universal parks were owned by the same company. And why won't his Universal tickets work there over at Disney?
Oh my gosh. What did you do when he shoved you, man?
So I have a personal policy. This was my personal policy many eons ago. If you touch me, if you lay hands on me, then when I fall to the ground, I am not getting up. I keep my eyes shut and I stay remaining laying on the ground. Because then the charges for you pushing me to the ground become way worse for you. Because if I don't immediately get right back up, well, then that means that I could have sustained a major injury at that point.
You're gambling pretty hard that they're not actually going to hurt you way worse when you're on the fucking ground.
Oh, yeah. Well, typically by then, luckily somebody else from Team Member Services has already come running over or whatnot. I mean, but then again, though, I was pushed into the ride track once.
That's fucking
why are
major
people so
sketch.
Angry?
You'd be surprised. So... This was many years ago. This was at Dueling Dragons. This was before it became Dragon Challenge. So this was at Dueling Dragons, and I had a guest who came up. They were mildly agitated at first because they didn't understand how the ride re-ride system worked at Dueling Dragons. To explain this very simply is back in the day, you could sit there, and as long as you waited through the line the first go around, there was a second line that you could jump into after you rode Fireball or Blizzrock.
Yeah.
After you rode Pyrock or Blizzrock, you could sit there, and it was basically a little shunt that you could take, and it would sit there and lead you over to the other side, right over to their load, and you could re-ride, so that this way you could ride both coaster trains. Well, this person sits there, and they're having problems understanding it. So I am physically talking to them. I'm working load at the time. And so I'm trying to explain this to them as best as I can by sitting there and talking to them at the child swap gate, which how they even found their way over to the child swap gate in the first place, I don't know. But I'm talking to them through it. And I'm sitting there being like, okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go through that door. Once you go through that door, there's going to be a little hallway. You follow that hallway, and then right off that hallway, you'll see a little sign that says, re-ride, follow this. You'll sit there, you'll follow the sign, and it'll lead you right back to the area close to where the diverge was, and you basically follow the sign for either Pyrock or Blizzrock. You follow one of those two sides, and then you're right there. All right? So, instead of sitting there and, like, listening or going and trying it, he's just getting angrier and angrier, and he expects me to sit there and somehow tell him of, like, a more direct way than that. Now, he's not supposed to know. Most people weren't supposed to know. There is a door. There is a door that used to be there where you could sit there and cross over, and you'd go right from one load to the other load. The problem is if you go through that door, there's a little tiny hallway that you're crossing over briefly that is a team member only area. Basically, it is right behind the control booth. That is why you can't cross over that little area. But we don't tell them this because we don't let them use that door. That's only for us. But he's basically trying to bully his way into using that fucking door, I guess. I don't know. But finally he gets so irritated with me that he pushes me. So I take a few stumbling steps back because I'm like, oh shit, and I'm trying to get my balance. Because he didn't just like one hand push me, he two-hand pushed me. So now I'm trying to sit there and catch my balance. I can't, and as I put my foot back, the platform is down for the coaster train. I go, whoa, and fall down into the downed platform area at this point. Luckily, the controls tower immediately saw it and slammed on the e-stop button. So now here I am, laying on the ground on the platform that's lowered, and I'm just laying there being like, what the fuck just happened? Because now I'm actually seriously hurt. I've got a mild concussion, and I'm sitting there being like, the fuck is going on? And I'm really confused. Meanwhile, my coworkers are all luckily shouting down to me going, are you all right down there? And I'm like, I'm fine, I guess. I don't really know. And meanwhile, the shift lead who has now come like bursting out of nowhere is like, stay down there, stay laying down, don't move, you'll be fine. And this guy is still continuing to argue with the other team members who are now all kind of gathering around him because now we're waiting for security to come get his ass out of the building. And like, yeah. So as far as I know, he was arrested. Good. Whole 9 yards. But I spent the rest of the day over in the friggin' hospital once they put me on the wee-woo wagon, and me sitting there going, what's a fucking concussion and why the fuck am I here? Because, like, it took me a solid 2 days to come back around and be like, the fuck happened to me? So...
yeah, it's up there with pushing someone into oncoming traffic or onto train tracks. That's
attempted murder right there, man. Right there.
So
involuntary, but still...
yeah, I mean, the thing is like, you'd be surprised at what people... I have hundreds of these stories because like, some people just don't know how to behave in the parks. And it's a sad reality of what we deal with. And like I said, mostly we're trying to stay to retail stories, but I mean these are just guest service stories. Yeah, these are just guest stories, period. Not only having people sit there and go, "Hey, I insist this is at your park. It's not here." My personal favorite. What time is the 3:00 parade? I would seriously
12:45.
I would seriously have people walk up to me and ask me, what time is the 3:00 parade? Well, I started sitting there and getting snippy with it after a while.
Oh, I'd have fun with it. Well, I'd be like, it's 3:00 on the 3rd of every other month.
So
only.
So no, I started sitting there and getting really fun with it. So I sat there and I was like, well, if you're in Frontierland, the parade starts at 3. If you are in Liberty Square, the parade will be at 3:20. If you are on the bridge between Liberty Square and Main Street, the parade will be at 3:25. If you are on Main Street up by Cinderella Castle, the parade will be at 3:30. If you are on the side of Main Street towards the castle but on the straightaway, the parade will be at 3:45. If you are down on Main Street down near the flagpole, the parade will be at 3:50. And people would look at me and be like, what the fuck?
Like, boy, you're serious, huh? But why so complicated? Like, they got, like, follow-up questions like you weren't just...
Oh, yeah, no, they would always have follow-up questions. But then again, you'd always run into those guests who'd be like, oh, that's super helpful information. That means we can go do this. And you're like, it wasn't meant to be super helpful, but okay, I was being facetious as fuck.
Yeah.
So... But yeah, no, you seriously get asked. You get asked, what time is the 3:00 parade? I don't know what time the 3:00 parade is. It's at
I would have a hard time fighting saying, if somebody says, what time is the 3:00 parade? I'll be like, so you're asking what time the 3:00 parade is? The 3:00, like I would have that tick of wanting to really emphasize the 3:00. But then I'd probably get in trouble for that.
Yeah, so one of the things that we're not supposed to call out back in the day of working in the theme parks, one of the things that you're not supposed to call out is like when you have a child who is too short to ride. All right. And you're not supposed to really be mean about it. You're supposed to sit there and offer a lot of different options. But lady, I know what you're doing when your kid comes up and they're 2 inches shy of the fucking bar, and then you walk away, and about 10 minutes later you come back up and you sit there and have your kid remeasure themselves, and suddenly they just meet the height requirement. And I totally didn't want you sit there and take your kid off into the bathroom so you could sit there and stuff paper towels into their fucking shoes so that the kid would meet the ride height.
That's industrious.
You
I'll
can't
give
call
them
them
credit
out on
for
that.
that.
You just let them on.
No, you can't really call them out on it. You want to, but you can't.
A lot of them are, if the kid's that close, they try to guilt trip you. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, my next year, I don't know what to fucking tell you.
My other personal favorite is that you can go on Amazon right now, and you can look up that they make shoes that are basically got really like subtle platforms built into them to have your kid meet ride heights at theme parks. There is an entire industry around this shit.
If it brought you just up to the bare minimum, it would have allowed them to slide past totally incognito, even though it's dumb. Because every time you do that, you're endangering your kid's life. Those height requirements are there for one fucking reason and one reason alone. The seats, the bars, the belts, the pull-downs are built for one specific generic size range. If you are over that size range, it will not lock you into place. If you are under that size range, you risk sliding the fuck out and be thrown off that ride at 100 miles an hour, splattering into a beam or a fucking wall. So because you wanted your kid to experience a roller coaster, you gambled with throwing them into a fucking wall at fucking Mach 5. Like, real good fucking parenting.
It's one.
Never forget.
It's wonderful watching little Billy sit there and get ejected from something.
Dude, the amount of people that would fucking traumatize for life, not to mention fucking killing your own fucking kid because you're ignorant.
And then they'll sue the amusement park because it was the amusement park's fault.
Of course.
Yep.
God forbid it would be someone's fault that tried to cheat the fucking system.
So my one of my all-time favorite stories is the woman who sat there and rode on Mission Space, then turned around and sued Mission Space because she sat there and wound up having a heart attack on the ride. The reason why most people don't know the outcome of that is it was very well hidden, because it wound up coming out in Discovery that she fucking knew she had a heart disease and rode the ride where the big fucking warning signs outside the ride said, "Do not ride if you have heart disease."
Oh yeah. Whenever you're standing on them lines, every so often you pass a very huge obvious sign that lists all the reasons that you should avoid the ride, including health conditions. Like,
if you wish to participate in this journey, you must be free of heart, back, and neck injuries. Be free from pregnancy, or may suspect you're pregnant before going on this ride. It is basically the same spiel at every single ride. My other personal favorite is oh, well, I've ridden it before and I've been fine. Woo, you're a statistic now. Have fun. So
I guess I understand what the answer to my next question already. I think it's because they want to create the illusion of it's so safe. Just like at the parks, nobody ever dies in the parks.
Oh yeah. They're all staying.
Talk about that. Well, and we could get into that later. But I was gonna, so I don't get ahead of myself. I was gonna say, I can think of certain events. We go riding four-wheelers on like a piece of land that provides a track, or if you're gonna go out paintballing or something like that. First thing you fucking do is sign a legal waiver waiving your right to sue them for any injury you sustain, acknowledging that you know you're about to participate and volunteering to opt into a dangerous recreational activity. And I just don't understand. Maybe not for the whole park, but at very least for rides that they do know have potential for danger, just make people sign a fucking waiver and then boom, hands wiped for the fucking problem. But I suppose maybe they don't because they want to keep that illusion of perfect safety and no potential chance of injury.
No, so actually when you purchase your ticket, you're authorizing the terms and conditions, and that's built into the terms and conditions of when you purchased your ticket. Just like the behavior and code of conduct is also accepted upon purchase of your ticket, because you are entering private property. I do not know how many times I've had to explain this to people. The theme parks are not public property. The theme parks are private property. You are on Universal's property. You are on SeaWorld's property. You are on Disney's property. You are not in something that belongs to the city and people of Orlando. You are there in a private corporation's, space. And yes, your ticket gives you access. You purchase that ticket, but it does not mean that you are in a public place. That ticket basically authorized you upon terms and conditions accepted that you accepted at the time of purchase to enter that private property. Mm-hmm. So now to your other point, yes, very rarely will somebody ever be declared dead inside the parks, and that is because you are considered still stable. Yeah, you are still considered stable or in critical condition up until you are in the ambulance, and the determination can be made at the hospital.
Yes, they do not allow them to call time of death.
What if your head is decapitated from a ride and your head's across the park somewhere?
Don't matter until the body gets off the property. They can't call time of death.
Yeah, so here's the fun part. Ducky, that is a real situation that has happened. So
they died there.
At Disneyland.
But they didn't confirm it.
Out at Disneyland in California, there was the derailment of the Big Thunder Mountain train. The Big Thunder Mountain train derailed, slammed into Frontierland, whole 9 yards. It was a big fucking deal back in the day. I'm sure Keith might remember the whole story.
I don't remember a whole car derailing. I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, no, the whole fucking thing derailed. So it turns out that the reason why it derailed is because some guy figured out how to wiggle out from underneath the safety bar to stand up. He stood up, he got his head off, and the train derailed, slammed into Frontierland. Now, if you ask, Disney cannot determine death. Police officers cannot determine time of death. The only people who can determine time of death is the doctor inside the hospital. So, technically, he was considered in critical life condition upon being placed into the ambulance without a fucking head until a doctor could sit there and declare that he was legally dead.
Nice little convenient loophole for the parks.
By the way, if you really want to know, there's a fun job that happens over there at the Magic Kingdom in Orlando, where there's a specialty service that sits there and comes around and can vacuum up people's ashes, because for some reason it's a real big dream for people to have their ashes spread in the park. Believe it or not, there's an entire service at Disney that sits there and goes through and has to vacuum. Yes, it's a vacuum. It's
Lots
not pretty.
Lots of people smuggle in their family's ashes to spread them at the park. I've heard this story many times, actually.
Disney has
had to create a cleaning department for just that.
Yeah. So because you're dumping your dead relative is a biohazard, and yeah. So, but I will tell you, it's a nice Milwaukee vacuum that they're using, but it's straight up like, if you think they're going around with like a little dirt dustpan, like politely sweeping up your relative, fuck no, it's a Milwaukee vacuum. Right into the shop vac. Yeah, you had a great time sitting there spreading your Uncle Jeb's ashes right there in the park. But let me tell you this, the afterwards is him getting vacuumed up and then dumped into a friggin' generic generic bag full of other, biohazard waste.
This might just be an indicator of how fucked up my brain is, but...
Uh-oh.
I know this isn't how it happens. I know it's some janitor guy wearing a button down with fucking Mickey's on it or something, but every time I hear these stories and think of it, I like to imagine that, like, Goofy and Mickey and Pluto have to stop what they're doing, and they're like, oh, gosh darn it, not another one. And just Goofy's just crying, sweeping up.
Oh, boy, pal. Give me 1 second. Hot dog, I've got ashes to sweep up. Gosh.
For some reason, I just picture the fucking costume actors having to do it, and it makes it much more comical and less fucked up. No, more fucked up. Just
oh, man, you really don't want to know what people get up to in those costumes.
I'm sure
You really don't. Anyways, like I said, I mean, the thing is I don't want to seem like I'm taking over the conversation, but like I have so many of these stories because I spent 22 years of my life in the theme parks. So 22 years to just build up all of these random fucking stories of shit you see. I mean, for Christ's sakes, I saw a guy sit there and jump from the bridge there in Frontierland to sit there and go diving into the rivers of America, not realizing that river is only about maybe 6 foot deep, and there is a gigantic electrified ride track underneath it that the Mark Twain runs on. Or, I'm sorry, Liberty Bell. It's called the Liberty Bell there at Magic Kingdom. Like, yeah. But he straight up just went, woo, splash. Not also realizing that the gators in that water are not fake. Those are real alligators in that water. They live there. They call it home. And when Disney Disney can't remove them until they get over a certain size because of Florida law. So, yeah. What?
So let's say the guy fell in the water. Alligators mauled him. Basically, they ate him. Can they
like what happened to the kid?
Can they declare him dead?
No, they're going to find at least a foot or a finger to have a mortician or a doctor at the hospital confirm. He might still be alive. That finger could still have life in it.
So, I'm going to go on a side tangent. And this side tangent is a personal beef of mine. If you've been to Disney recently, you may have noticed that anything around Echo Lake or Bay Lake, you may have noticed all that fencing and stuff like that, preventing people from going nearer in the water because of the alligators and whatnot. Now, way back in the day, you could use those beaches and you could actually go in the water and whatnot. But then the alligator problem started being a real, actual problem. So a couple of years ago, the reason why those fences came up is a lady sat there and ignored the huge sign, all right? Big sign. It wasn't a little sign. It was a big sign that said, do not let your kids play near the water. Do not enter the water. There is things in the water. Do not do that. Well, she went ahead and let her kid play in the fucking water there at Bay Lake. Of course, Gator comes along, sees a little kid, goes, oh, that's an easy meal. Chomp. All right. So this is a real thing that actually happened. Well, thanks to her doing that, of course, they sued Disney and shit like that because of it. And then they put up all those fences and everything like that. If you can't take 5 seconds to comprehend what a fucking sign says and be respectful enough to follow what the fuck the sign says, and if the sign says don't enter the fucking water, what do you think you should do? Don't enter the fucking water.
And it's not like these signs are easy to ignore. Most of them are oversized. Most of them have in bold at the top, in big red, warning. Like, maybe you should fucking pay attention to the shit under that. And if that's not enough, a large amount of these warning signs around bodies of water now have a very unmistakable, large, bold illustration of a fucking alligator on them. Warning! Dinosaurs! List of potential ways a dinosaur could kill you and why you shouldn't fuck with it. They make it really, really, really hard to fucking disacknowledge it or miss it. And people still just go, pah.
It won't happen.
I mean, another similar incident happened at Universal once, where a kid was riding the ET attraction, right? And on the ET attraction, multiple times does the ride warn you, hey, keep your feet inside the ride vehicle at all times. Well, this kid decided to be a smartass and was having his feet dangling over the side and whatnot. And of course, as it was pulling into the unload station, here's the ride vehicle, here's the unload station. As it was pulling in, literally sat there, caught the kid's fucking foot, and sheared his foot off right at the fucking ankle. Totally ignoring the signs, totally ignoring everything. Yeah.
Did you read?
I mean, you don't have to read because they gave you audio and visual instructions onto keeping your feet inside the ride vehicle. Hell, I used to do those announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the ride vehicle at all times. Thank you. How hard is that to understand?
That just reminds me of a funny little interaction you had with another vacationer when he came down here while we were at the hotel. Some folks were just chatting with us, and one of them remarked something about your voice. I think he said something like you had a radio voice, you know.
No.
And you were like, "Oh yeah, you want to hear something?" And then you mimicked one of your pre-recorded lines that the parks still use on like the bus shuttles and stuff. We're like, "Oh yeah, I think my voice sounds familiar. How about this?" They're like, wait a freaking minute. Like, yeah, I'm still on the recordings.
And then she lost it. She's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, I met a celebrity.
Oh, my gosh.
He's the voice of the bus shuttle.
Oh, buses.
What the fuck?
God, I always wanted to meet a real-life ride bus announcer. Sexy voice.
Please keep all dildos, anal plugs, and other various toys inside your body cavities at all times. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Wrong radio show. Wrong radio show. Shit.
All right, somebody take this away from me, because I'll sit there and I can keep going with these fucking stories. I don't want to, but I can.
Man, I'm just having to try to shut myself up, but you just kind of done it automatically by breaking my fucking brain. Fuck.
And I mean, okay, so another story from my time way back at Dueling Dragons. No. Another story from way back in my time at Dueling Dragons. I'm loading these guests on, and I got two guests sitting up in the front of. I was working BlizzRock at the time. I had the two guests sitting there at the front. All right, nice couple, nice guy and girl. All right. And they're sitting there and they're talking with each other and they're talking with me, and I'm putting them on and I'm making sure that their restraints are nice and tight. And so I reach down, I grab the seat belt, I make sure that it's buckled, and gave it the good old tug. And as I do that, I look over and I notice very carefully, I see a little wire going from her seat over to his seat. And then I sit there, and as I'm checking his seat, I notice that he's hiding in his hands, kind of like this, a little remote.
Oh no!
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I was like, "What in the world could that remote be?" Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that was that. At first, my brain was like, "Was he trying to like do like the garage door remote spoof to like access lights, rides, or doors around the park or something?" I get.
He was accessing her light. That was for sure.
They were having their own little freaking amusement park within the amusement park.
So I had to stop a ride once. I'm not going to say what ride I was working. All right, because not much has changed in the day and age from that ride. So
stop the ride. Did you notice this?
Yep. So I stopped the ride. We had to have our shift lead go walk down the ride track, shine a flashlight into their ride vehicle, and go, "Please do not have sex on our ride track."
See, I feel like they fucked up on that, because you're not supposed to shine a light on anything not magical in those places, right? I feel like this was handled more subtly, so the other guests didn't realize what was going down.
This was at Universal. This wasn't Disney. There ain't no fucking magic at Universal.
You know what I mean? In general, like, this is basic policy at, like, a fucking Target. Like, mitigate the size of the collateral, i.e. that also involves how many people notice it, get involved, etc.
Yeah, this was during the...
I would have thought the better way to handle it would be not stop the ride at all. Get them through and off the ride as quickly as possible, which would involve not stopping it, and then pull them aside without anyone else knowing why you pulled them aside. After the ride, and be like, you realize if you keep that up, you're going to get kicked out of the park. You're going to cut that shit out.
This was during this was during the Universal name and shame days, during the GE days. This was way back when. Wow. Now at Disney it happens all the time, and at Disney you politely remind people to sit there and please keep adult activities alone back in their hotel.
According to the rules and the atmosphere you're in,
Yeah. So I mean, at Disney we handled it massively differently than we did at Universal. And I mean, the amount of people that I sat there and caught like on Tower of Terror sitting there, jorking it. Like, yeah, I know. I mean, there's occasionally you're watching the security cam footage, and then you see a girl sit there and on her boyfriend, she's going like this, and like, it don't take much to figure out.
Maybe his leg fell asleep, and she's like, "Wake up, leg." Okay.
I've had some fun on Universal property. That's all I'll say. And
we all have.
I'm not only talking about any one specific thing. I'm thinking about a few occasions where. What you're already thinking, definitely, but
I am not going to admit to some of the shit I got up to.
Yeah. Oh, would you look at that?
Oh, yeah.
A dark avenue that no one's paying attention to. Woohoo!
Let me tell you this: you learned really quick what rides and what rides did and didn't have cameras that were facing the ride track that could watch you.
Oh God, Steve!
Hey,
I mean, it's a beautiful environment, man. It's a beautiful environment.
What happens in the park stays.
What happens in the park stays in the park. As long as you don't get caught.
Or, you know, if you do get caught, make sure you get caught by the cool person, you know.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, there was one time when I got off the Tomorrowland Transit Authority that I had a guy sit there and high-five me and go, way to go. And I went, what the fuck? Oh.
Oh, fudge.
I went, all right. Yeah, thanks, one more Disney day. That was way back when. Oh God, I'm a terrible person. I'm just now realizing people are going to realize how terrible I really am. Okay, so there's an entire book
on air for far too many people to see here.
I'm going to share a book with you later, Ducky. I'm going to share a book with you later that I think you would find an absolutely fascinating thing to listen to. So,
okay.
Anyways, anybody really want to take this away from me? Because 22 years of history.
Every time I think about it, you derail my fucking brain with your next story. I'm just like...
The stories are good, though, Steve. These are good stories. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, boy.
Dude, your mood has... I am so happy to see you laughing and having such a good time. Your mood's pulled a 180 since this morning. You woke up just... I'm like, damn. I feel like he might call it. He doesn't seem like he wants to interact with a single person today, and look at you now.
So...
Thanks, sex on roller coasters.
Yep. Thank you, public debauchery, for breaking the ice and improving Steve's mood.
Okay.
Oh, fuck. I mean, I could tell you a couple of uber shorts, but they don't really have like an ending or a great payoff, but it's just like a, wow, that fucking happened? That sucks. Let's go here. Let's see. Everyone that's ever driven for a rideshare service has experienced the customers they wish they never got, the customers they hope get fucking banned. I got to interact with 3 of those in my 2 years of on and off rideshare work. I had to ferry many a drunks around. Here's short story 1. Short story 1. My worst experience having to ferry around a drunk. This particular incident was a group of 3 friends. One just fucking angry and mean and demanding the whole time. The other one, sloppy to the point of eventually puking in my car. And then the middle one, the apologetic, embarrassed one, that actually went, let me try to make this right. Please don't give us a 0 star and report us. Like, so these 3 friends get in. We make it fucking 2 miles away from where I fucking picked them up before I fucking ended the ride. Angry, aggressive, drunk. I ignore as much as I can. This dude was just popping off at the mouth in every way imaginable about anyone all night long who he could whoop, would whoop, or should have whooped. And doing this whole distracting the driver, slapping him on the shoulder. You get it, man, shit, like... I'm like, dude, just, it's fine if you want to be obnoxious in the back, like, but just don't fucking touch me. I'm trying to drive. Meanwhile, I'm trying to block their existence out so I can fucking drive. He keeps up with this. Belligerently, well, that was belligerent guy. We'll call this the other one, sick girl. Sick girl's in the back, leaning on the side. I keep glancing in the rearview mirror. Not sure if he's going to punch me in the back of the head because he's out of his mind, or if that one's going to yak. So I'm mostly watching this one over here, nodding out, swaying. waiting for when I need to pull over or open my window, more checking. Hey, if you need to let it out, just let me know. I'll stop. If I can't stop in time, I'll open the window. I got a little garbage bag here. It's not the best choice, but man, they took my offers as just leave her alone. She's fine. Fuck, man, just fucking drive. Just worry about your job. This is dickhead over on the other side. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, that's funny. Mr. Fuck Everyone Fight Anyone is over here championing Miss fucking seeing 6 images and fucking unable to sit upright, fucking in a seat. The one in the middle's like, I'm sorry about my friends. I'm sorry about my friends. I'm sorry about my friends. Eventually, I'm like, this is too fucking chaotic. It's becoming dangerous and distracting to drive you assholes anywhere. Like, got to end the ride, guys. I didn't want to give a specific reason because I didn't want to get into it with them. Of course, they're being belligerent, not wanting to get out of the fucking car. Anyway, by the time I'm starting to end the ride, Meathead is arguing and kind of running his mouth, escalating things to a more aggressive level. I'm like, I got no beef with you, dude. I'm just trying to downplay it, even though I want to get out of the car and fuck him sticking under the tire, but I'm playing it down, trying to be chill. Fuck, man, before I could get the car to a full stop, fucking Pukey McGee lets it rip. So I'm worried about diffusing nutcase. I got Pukey McGee over.
All in your car?
Thank God for the one person with some fucking humility, their third friend. Just shut up, Meathead. Shut up, Meathead. I got this. Just get out of the guy's car. Get out of the guy's car. And she's trying to help drunk. I'm so fucking sorry that happened. Look, please don't burn us on review here. Like, what? Trying to give me money to fucking tip me off. I'm like, look. I took her marginal tip, turned down her offer to pay to get my car cleaned, and I'm like, is what it is. I let it slide because it was the nice one's rideshare account. Mm-hmm. I didn't even bother to fucking burn them. Otherwise, I would have been like, yeah, well, my company will reimburse me to freaking get the car cleaned. And you'll get a 1 star and probably a temporary ban, if not a permanent one, from using the service. But as I was debating on how to handle it, the one with any human decency, that was their rideshare account, so I just let it ride. And, the other two were not thrilled that they couldn't finish the ride, and they didn't understand why I would want them out of my fucking car. But a little bit of kindness and humbleness goes a fucking long way. So,
that was nice of you.
We parted ways. I said, I'm sorry. Your friends put you in this situation. Fuck them. You should probably stop hanging out with these idiots. I'm going to fuck off now. Best of luck. That was it for the night. That one was a little longer. I'm sorry there wasn't a great payoff, even though that story could have probably been told shorter. But
yeah.
The lesson you learn is if you're going to fucking deal with the public or subcontract fucking strangers, these are the risks you run. This is the shit you're liable to run into when you're doing it long enough, and there's not any avoiding it. You just gotta learn how to fucking roll with it sometimes.
At least Drunky McGee didn't get out of the fucking car and go, I'm so sorry, all over you.
And it was all over the back of my seat, up into the door in the passenger seat. It reeked. I had to drive almost an hour home smelling that shit. And this is back when I had the fucking Lincoln, dude. I've never been more mad about a mess in my car ever. I mean, two-tone, black on fucking white, fucking black fabric to fucking white leather. Oh, that fucking car was sexy. I miss that thing. Fuck. I cleaned that thing a lot, but I never cleaned it so fucking long. That evening I cleaned it, and then I fucking deep cleaned it the next day.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess we should pretty much wrap it up here.
Well, you don't want to run a 2-hour show? We could fill another 3 hours with the fucking stories we got.
Man, I could go.
We should do a part 2 of this.
You're telling me you don't want to hear the time the hooker tried to proposition me while I was driving her home?
Oh yeah, I remember hearing this story from you when I was down there.
You know what? Now that I've got everyone's interest...
Yeah, go for it.
If you guys are really interested in hearing the rest of that story, you know where to click and follow if you'd like to see our after show on Patreon.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll do it. I'm gonna fucking roll with it. I've been saying for a while, the more we escalate the rating of the conversation, I think the more we should let that clip of the recording go over to Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's the unrated, uncensored. We just will keep every crazy-ass thing we say over in those clips. So, for the sake of being YouTube polite and the sake of giving you guys something to look forward to, I think if my friends here are down to continue this conversation the direction it's been going for the last two stories, I think we might be able to...
Well, then let's go ahead. Let's wrap up the main episode here. And then you'll be able to tune in for the other parts over there on our Patreon page. So now I do want to remind people, if you sat there, you liked this video, please go ahead, click that subscribe button, hit the like button, ring the notification bell. Also, you can find us on Patreon for as little as $5 a month. You can sit there and subscribe to get awesome, cool, exclusive stuff and exclusive clips and whatnot. You can also sit there and now tip us on Ko-Fi. Buy us a coffee. If you don't want to sit there and support us monthly, but you at least want to sit there and, buy us a cup of coffee, go ahead. Go on over to Ko-Fi, buy us a cup of coffee. We'll appreciate it. Yeah. So, anyways, if you want to sit there and you want to find each one of us separately, I don't stream very regularly, but I am on Twitch. You can find my links down in the description. You can find Critical Skeptic's links down in the description. Of course, you have Ladyducky, who streams almost every single day. You can sit there, find her links also down in the description. So,
and while we're still rolling, I'd like to add on that note, I have been trying. I Twitch stream the least of us. However, there have been a few games I've been wanting to bring us back to, a few group games that everyone here from the show would probably love, and I think a lot of you would enjoy watching us banter while playing some fairly entertaining games here. So I'm trying to see if we can get a few more recurring gameplay group hangouts streaming on Discord, or excuse me, not Discord, over on Twitch here pretty soon. So maybe in the next week or two, you'll get to find us all playing more frequently as a group and some more entertaining games to hang out with y'all.
So, but anyways, from myself, Steve from WTF Anime, and of course, Ladyducky and Critical Skeptic, we all thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye. Yeah.
We appreciate y'all.